Living like you're broke will make you rich. Say it with me. Living like you're broke will make you rich. My name is Adam Wilson and this is Broke Man Finance. Before you do anything else, hit that like button, hit that subscribe, hit that bell so you're notified every time I post a video. Hashtag BrokeAF. Before I do anything, this beer tonight that I'm drinking is dedicated to my friend in finance, JJ Big Bucks Buckner. I said the next time I did a video, I would dedicate one to him. He's been down there drinking like a fish. Well, a couple natty lights here and there. And he's trying to expand his palate. So tonight I'm drinking a Negro Modelo, a little cerveza for him. I refuse to drink Corona. The Rona's at the bad taste in my mouth. So that's for you, JJ. Today we're going to talk about Chicago-based pharmaceutical company Abbvie. Abbvie is a company that holds a special place in me heart because it was the first stock that I ever actually purchased. Picked it completely randomly, had no idea what I was doing. I just happened to get Abbvie. A little while later, I got that dividend and it happens to be my biggest holding as far as my individual stocks right underneath my ETFs, Triple Q, VU, and so I've just never gotten rid of them. So I've been following them for a while and they continue to do big things and make big moves. So recently they partnered with Genmab on a deal worth $3.9 billion. So Genmab is a Denmark-based pharmaceutical company. This is going to be a joint effort to develop and market cancer treatments. Abbvie is looking to expand its cancer franchise and they have drafted Genmab to help them do that. Abbvie's vice chairman Michael Severino said, "By combining the strengths of our two organizations, we can advance the treatment landscape for patients battling cancer." Genmab was up approximately 5% today, and they ended up closing around 30.22, getting close to that 52-week high. Abbvie, on the other hand, they hit a 52-week high today in the midst of everybody else being in the red. Abbvie hit a high today of $99.34. When pretty much everything else was trending downward, Abbvie and Genmab were still pushing their way up. Now, Abbvie only went up around 1% today, but they still went up. Why do I like this company so much? Well, aside from it being one of the first stocks I ever picked, and it's my biggest holding now, it pays an incredible dividend, and we'll get to that part. But it continues to make moves and do big things, and I'm going to explain to you also why people do not like Abbvie. Over the past few months, among this Rona pandemic, all the pharmaceutical companies across the world really got thrown into the spotlight on who was going to come up with the vaccine first. Even with all this turmoil and all the volatility that these pharmaceutical companies are facing right now, Abbvie continues to win and continues to push forward. Humira, the world's most sold medication, is one of Abbvie's biggest moneymakers. In the fourth quarter of 2019, it made them in revenue $3.7 billion. They saw a 10% increase internationally, which early last year the sales were down, but now they're even up almost to 14% in the US alone. Recently, the FDA approved dosage increases to patients that's using Humira, meaning supply and demand, sales are probably going to go up. You can take more. People are allowed to take more Humira. So sales are going to be even higher next year. That revenue is continuing to climb. If they don't make moves, that leaves them vulnerable to these people coming out with similar drugs that mimics the same effects that Humira has. And that just basically, it saturates the market with that same drug. So if they don't stay on the front line of this and stay innovative and keep trying to pick up new drugs and getting things passed by the FDA to keep getting, if you don't keep pushing forward in this market, you're just going to roll over and die. And really, to me, if Abbvie doesn't make these moves as far as the acquisition, Allergen, that they did last year, and I can talk about that in a minute, with Humira, and they don't do these collaborations like they're doing with Genmab, then I would look at this company as really less attractive. Even though if they didn't do these mergers or they didn't do these acquisitions and they didn't do these partnerships, that debt to asset ratio would probably be really, really, really low, making it an attractive looking stock on that balance sheet. But what's the future? Where's the future after that? Where's the innovation? Because companies are going to continue to try to mimic that Humira because it's such a moneymaker. Why wouldn't they? Almost 1 year to the day, Abbvie announced that it will be acquiring Allergen. That was a $63 billion acquisition. Now, most notably, Botox come out of that Allergen acquisition. It almost has a monopoly on the face, on the face medication stuff, right? This is my surprise face. This is my scared face. This is my happy face. The good thing about Botox is there is no competition. There's nobody out there that's making anything similar in the market. Botox alone made Abbvie $1 billion in the fourth quarter of 2019. Analysts are predicting that this will add $30 billion to their total revenue in 2020, which they're guesstimating that it'll be approximately $50 billion. Now, I mentioned earlier that that some people are very scared when they look at Abbvie and they sit down and they look at that balance sheet. And yeah, if you pulled it up right now, it probably would make you nervous, because with that $63 billion acquisition, they're just now seeing a lot of increases in Humira and getting that kind of driving back up. They're still making moves, purchasing doing the other collaborations like Genmab. But don't look at their balance sheet just yet. $41 billion was paid in cash for that acquisition of Allergen. Obviously, that's going to hurt your debt to asset ratio. $41 billion in cash was spent, $63 billion total, with a prediction that would add $30 billion worth of revenue in 2020 alone. Now, if those predictions turn out to be accurate, I think Abbvie is going to be just fine. I know that debt to asset ratio is really high, and if it was in any other company, I would probably pump the brakes too and stay away from it. But because I know the revenue potential that Abbvie is looking at, and I understand why they're taking on that debt initially, I think they know that they can pay it back down pretty quick whenever they want to. But I understand that they want to get away from only having that Humira. I know there's patent issues and all that kind of stuff going on, but the market starts pumping out similar drugs that kind of have the same effects on people, then it really dilutes the market and it completely devalues that drug. So Abbvie's got to have they got to have more things. They got to have more diversification. They got to have more profit earners. In a short amount of time, Abbvie could be the only pharmaceutical company that we're talking about anymore. These acquisitions are turning Abbvie into a pharmaceutical powerhouse with colossal revenue potential. If they keep doing what they're doing, I find it hard to imagine that stock price drops at all. I think those shares are going to just continue to appreciate. Right now, I think they closed out at around $97.80. In fact, some analysts are predicting a 25% increase by this time next year, with a potential share price at around $125. In 5 years, you have some analysts predicting $500 to $700 for Abbvie. Think about that. I'm not saying that won't happen. Right now, I'm not completely sold that it'll be $700 in 5 years. Can it get to $700 eventually? Yeah, absolutely it can. Anything can at this point. But realistically, I think you're looking at $300 to $350 per share of stock. Again, I'm not saying that they can't get to $1,000 in 5 years. I have no idea. I just think the likelihood of that is low. And I think somewhere $300 to $350 is much more believable. But again, right now, what did we say, $97? What was let's see what Apple closed at today. Apple closed today at $352. So think about that for a moment. If you had the opportunity to go back and buy Apple, now for all the Abbvie haters out there and Apple lovers, I'm not saying that Abbvie and Apple are the same. I'm not. I'm just saying this. If you had the opportunity to go back and buy Apple at $95, $96, $97, how much would you buy? What would you do? I guess that's easy to answer now because we all know what Apple is. Just not that long ago, they were $180. That's like a year ago. If Abbvie keeps doing these acquisitions and they keep moving and grooving and they keep innovating the pharmaceutical game, I see nothing but stock appreciation. For all my dividend investors out there, Abbvie has currently a 4.91% yield, bringing that to a $4.71% annual dividend, or a $1.18 quarterly dividend. They've had 7 years of consistent growth, and through that 7 years, you're looking at a 21.35% yearly dividend growth rate. That's, if I'm a dividend investor, then I've got Abbvie in my portfolio. If I'm Andre Jick, I better have Abbvie in my portfolio, because they are crushing it right now. Think about this: if you're buying them at $90, if you happen to buy them on that March 23rd or that early April date, and you got them on the low, could you imagine in a few years when that stock price really is $350 what that dividend is going to be, and you bought that thing for $90, $80, whatever? That's going to be monster dividends coming out. So that's my current spiel on Abbvie. If you like the video, make sure you hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Abbvie is one of my biggest positions. I'm going to ride this thing all the way to 2025, and I think it's gonna pay off for me in the long run. But I am not a financial advisor. I'm just a guy on YouTube who's drinking beer next to a blue light and a little letterboard. Make your own decisions. Do your own research.